Colin Cowherd's Week 3 Best Bets. Welcome, football fans, gridiron gamblers. It's Mitch here with my reaction to Colin Cowherd's Blazin 5 for Week 3. His favorite totals, spreads, and picks for Week 3. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my reaction. Is he correct? Or is he crazy? Should we fade or should we follow Colin in Week 3? If that sounds good, Gronk, spike the like button if you want to see more reactions just like this. And get in the comments and let me know your thoughts on Colin's picks for Week 3. Let's get to it. Let's have some fun. And I'm going to let you know if Colin is going to win some money this week or if he's going to lose all his money this week. Let's go. Uncle Colin, let's see what we got here. Okay.
Had a winning week, first week, last week, robbed in the Denver loss. I'm not going to complain about it, but probably the toughest beat I've had. I mean, I told you this off air and on. That's the toughest beat I've had probably in 3 years.
Ooh. Yeah, that was tough. I'm not going to lie. That penalty was tough.
Ooh. But you know what? I'm not a victim.
No.
And that's not who I am.
No.
I just put the work boots on, grab the shovel, and start digging out picks. So here we
Get
go.
it going.
It is Week 3. I feel good about it. Blazin'
I feel good about it.
5.
Let's blaze it up. Fire it up. It's Colin's Blazin' 5. Rams at Eagles.
I'm going to take the Rams plus 3.5. Best second half team in the league. Stafford's the highest rated quarterback. But more than anything, it's the number one scoring defense in the league. Both opponents held under 20. Not only are they getting to the...
Didn't realize that. But they did play the Titans and Texans offenses, arguably the two of the bottom 5 offenses right now.
quarterback, 8 sacks from 6 different players. This defensive front is...
I don't even look at stats until at least like week 6. Like, honestly, like these stats right now, most points, most yards, it really doesn't matter. Like, if you ever hear me saying that in the first month of the season, just call me a jabroni in the comments. Like, honestly, like, it matters so much who you play, and we honestly just don't even know how good these teams are. We need a little bit of a sample size, right? Against good, bad, medium, mid teams, right? So he's going to keep going into this pick. I definitely considered Rams plus 3.5. I'm not going to hate on this pick whatsoever, but it's on a fine line. Like, I could see the Rams winning this game. I can see the Rams losing by a field goal. I could see the Eagles crushing the Rams. Like, I can almost see every outcome, which makes me very nervous about making it a bet. So the way that I could see him losing this is Saquon Barkley going crazy. Last year, the Eagles struggled to stop Saquon. They struggled to stop him in the regular season and in the postseason. And if the Eagles can still do anything, it's hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley and let him rip, right? At the same time, it's in Philadelphia. Obviously not ideal. And if the Eagles are able to control time of possession on the ground, push their way to first downs, push their way to touchdowns, keep Stafford off the field, that's a little uncomfortable for me. Plus, Dallas Goedert is back. That adds that extra dimension of a blocking tight end, his receiving option over the middle of the field. Witherspoon is out at corner for the Rams, who I feel like has played very underrated football. Now Emmanuel Forbes enters the fold as a starter who can't tackle. That's maybe a bigger concern than his coverage ability. I like the Rams front a lot as a pass rush unit, and I do think they'll sack Jalen Hurts. I do wonder how much the Eagles will be able to open up their passing attack. It's been very disgusting to watch in the first 2 weeks, but I just feel like their ability to run the ball is going to basically decide this game. And I just don't know how that's going to go down because the Texans and the Titans both don't really run the ball well. I have no real evidence of whether or not the Rams can stop the Eagles' run game. That's really what hurts me. On the other side, the Eagles' defense is good, and they're at home. And Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are not bad matchups for Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. They'll still get theirs, but this is certainly not an easy matchup for the Rams offense. They're also missing a starting guard against Jalen Carter. It just makes me uncomfortable. I do like the way Stafford's playing. In fact, I love it. I think he's totally the better quarterback here. I prefer Sean McVay to Nick Sirianni. I do believe in Shula as the defensive coordinator of the Rams. I do think the Rams have the more potent, explosive offense. I do feel like they look better than the Eagles. But the Eagles have played better teams. They played Dallas. They played Kansas City on the road in Kansas City. And they've survived. So I need more evidence with the Rams. They've played a very one-dimensional Texans team. And they've played a terrible Titans team. I just don't feel confident enough to make it a bet, put my money on it. That's kind of where I'm at here. But if I had to pick a side, I would pick the side with Stafford to keep this close. I will say that. And I love how Puka's playing. And I do believe the Rams played the Eagles well last year, especially in that playoff game. So if I had to pick a side, I'd pick the Rams.
Gnarly. And the Eagles offense, they have 3 plays, just 3 plays all year over 20 yards. It's a BB gun, despite a great O-line in Saquon Barkley. I don't get the number. Eagles offense trying to find its way. Rams defense getting better by the quarter. I'm going to take the Rams to upset them 27-23.
Fair. Again, fair. I just a little concerned about some of the aspects that I feel like I haven't seen from the Rams yet. And I do believe the Eagles might be hiding the explosives that they haven't shown in the first 2 weeks. That being said, it could also be just a 2023 situation where they've lost another offensive coordinator and their pass game is super simple, vanilla, and they can't move the ball through the air. If that's the case, whoever bets the Rams is going to be right. I almost feel like betting the Rams money line might even be the better way to go just from the odds perspective. But if you can get 3 and a hook, I mean, always getting that with the field goal potential, like a 27-24 loss, not a bad idea.
Steelers at Patriots.
I'm going to take the Patriots as a home dog plus 1.5. Drake.
Love this one. As you guys know, this is a best bet. I'll be on the Patriots money line this week. Let's see what he has to say.
Drake May played very well. What I like, they're getting after the quarterback. Mike Vrabel's got that defensive front humming. Also, they've been hard to run on. And Pittsburgh doesn't run it anyway. Aaron Rodgers been sacked 7 times in 2 games. They haven't run the ball in Pittsburgh in 7 years, and they're not going to run it against New England, meaning Aaron on the road is going to have to throw. And this Steelers defense, I don't know what's wrong, but it's a mess on the back end. And they're allowing 6.5 yards a play. I like the Patriots straight out to win this game, 27-23.
Yeah, I think the Steelers are overrated because they have the Pittsburgh name attached to them. They have Aaron Rodgers attached to them. They have Mike Tomlin attached to them. But if you've watched the product, they barely survived the Jets, who I believe are a bottom 2, maybe NFL team, but AFC team for certain. And they got outplayed in that game. The first 2 weeks, they've allowed 2 100-yard rushers. Last week, Kenneth Walker went for 8 yards a carry. Breece Hall also had 100 yards for the Jets. Justin Fields looked like a good NFL quarterback throwing the ball against the Steelers. That's concerning, right? They couldn't stop Sam Darnold through the air. This is the best offense they've played, I believe. Best quarterback easily in Drake May. And Drake May looked great last week. Josh McDaniels typically does pick apart the Pittsburgh Steelers defense over the years, as we saw many times with Tom Brady. And he has great points. Like, it's almost like he read my notes. Run defense is strong for the Patriots, means longer down and distance for the Steelers offensive line against the team that leads the NFL in sacks. Milton Williams leads defensive tackles in pass rush win rate. He's been dominant. Harold Landry's got sacks left and right. Gonzo, Christian Gonzalez, might be back this week, which totally changes the Patriots secondary, which has been their weakness as a football team so far. The Steelers also have multiple injuries to defensive players, including Deshaun Elliott, good safety, Joey Porter Jr., their top perimeter cornerback, and also potentially, I believe, Alex Highsmith. So they have multiple starters out on defense. I think with the amount of cover one that the Steelers play, Drake May's a great deep ball thrower. I'd expect some downfield passes. Kayshon Boutte could have a big game. I think that the Patriots are the better team. They're at home. They're catching a point. I think this is a really good bet. I could be wrong. Mike Tomlin, Aaron Rodgers might have another great effort. Maybe Gonzo doesn't play and DK goes crazy. Maybe Arthur Smith finds a formula on the ground and the screen game to make it happen. Maybe the Steelers pass rush, which is really the way I feel like they can beat the Patriots. Maybe they tee off on still a questionable offensive line to New England. That might be the way to victory for Pittsburgh. But personally, I think New England is really underrated at quarterback right now. And I think they are just making their way. And I feel like the Steelers are overrated. So it's a perfect time to catch the young Patriots team. Next.
Saints at Seahawks.
I like Seattle big. They've held.
Seattle big. Okay, I personally may have sided with the Seahawks early in the week, but after just checking their injury report, I think I would have to lean towards the Saints getting 7.5. From what I understand, Nick Emanwari, their rookie safety, has been out the last game, and he'll be out this game. Julian Love is doubtful, and Devin Witherspoon is out or doubtful. So that's concerning. That's 3 starters in the secondary that are out against a decent receiving core. And Spencer Rattler has played better than people think. The Saints do have offensive line concerns and potential injuries. Seattle does have a very good pass rush that could keep them from allowing some big plays. I still think Seattle wins this game, but New Orleans hasn't played half bad. They've lost to the Niners, who beat the Seahawks, but it was relatively close, and I know that Purdy didn't play and Mac played. And they lost to the Cardinals, and they were both like one-score games. They were at least under 7.5. The Seahawks have also struggled at home. They lost at home this year. They lost 7 games at home last year. They're not as good as at home as you would think, despite the noise and the volume. So I don't know. I kind of think this is going to be closer than people think. I would just stay away from this game completely because I'm not putting my money on Spencer Rattler. But let's see what Colin has to say about this matchup.
Both opponents under 20 points. Jackson Smith and Jigba, looks like they found a number 1 receiver, and that was the concern.
Yeah, he's legit.
I said I thought Darnold.
Walker played really well last week too. But the Saints have done a good job against McCaffrey overall last week. They did a good job against James Conner the week previous.
Was an upgrade. O-line will be better. Both have been true. Listen, y'all tell me about Spencer Rattler. Can you win a game?
Hey, he doesn't have to win. He has to cover. He has to cover.
They've been 0-9 the last couple of years against playoff teams. They've lost 17 straight games when they allowed 20-plus points. Well, I'm going to take Seattle to score 20 points in this game. Spencer Rattler is completing under 60%. 0-8 as a starter. They're traveling.
Yeah, he hasn't won a game.
Cross country. I don't know. I like Seattle here at home, 28-20. I don't even think it feels that close. I think the Saints maybe score. They try to backdoor it and score a touchdown. I think Seattle's going to control this football game and cover.
All right. Yeah, I don't love the hook on the touchdown. I feel like the Saints could backdoor. This could be a 27-13 game, and then the Saints score a garbage touchdown and they cover. Kind of hate that. If you want to tease the Seahawks down, I can understand that. Again, though, those concerns in the secondary do bother me. 3 starters being out, I just stay away. There are a lot of injuries across the NFL. He could be right about this. I think, though, I would fade this pick.
Cowboys at Bears.
I'm taking the over.
It's a very square play, but it could be right.
I think Dallas will win close, but I'm taking the over 50.5 points. Listen, the Cowboys have the best third down offense in the league. Again,
not surprising.
It's that Giants defensive front. It was payday, and they did what they wanted to. Javonte Williams, we always liked him in Denver.
I mean, look, they've played the Giants pass rush and the Eagles pass rush or defense, and they protected well in both games. They moved the ball effectively in both games. and they nearly won both games. Now, they also nearly lost both games. But at 50.5, my concern is just taking an over with Caleb Williams on one of the teams. That's my concern. Caleb Williams is just not very good. And if any coach knows him the best, it would be Matt Eberflus, right? The defensive coordinator at Dallas. I think I'd actually prefer to take Dallas on the spread at -1 than I would to go over 50.5. But that being said, there should be a lot of points. Like, Ben Johnson should be able to find a formula. If Russell Wilson can throw for 450 yards, just about any jabroni can throw for 300 yards against this defense, right? Deron Bland still expected to be out. Maybe the Cowboys now plug in Jadeveon Clowney or on early downs to help them out. But Dallas doesn't have a dominant pass rush. Caleb should have time. Maybe the Bears don't run the ball all that effectively because the Cowboys' run defense has been improved this year, but their pass defense has really struggled. And DJ Moore, Roma Dunze, they have enough out there to make some plays down the field. And even if they get behind early, we've seen Caleb is very good in garbage time at putting up some touchdowns and some points. On the other side, I think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to move the ball at will. I mean, on paper, Dallas, like I said, has played last week the Giants pass rush. And they were pretty good against the Eagles as well, moving the ball. The Bears don't have a good pass rush. They're missing TJ Edwards, Kyler Gordon, Jalen Jones, and I think it's Jalen Jones. And then Jalen Johnson. That's why I'm a little uncertain. Is it Jalen Jones? It's Jones. I'm not sure if his first name's Jalen. But they're missing 3 cornerbacks is the point. They're missing their best linebacker. How are they going to cover arguably the best passing attack in football right now? CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, Turpin's playing. Ferguson looks great. Javante's running hard. Like, I'd probably just take Dallas, but the over isn't a bad look because Dallas will probably score in the 30s. And if you think Chicago has a chance to win, the over is a good play. I will say that. So if I had to fade or follow, as square as it is, I would probably follow this bet. I would probably say he's going to be correct here.
Dallas picked him up. They've found some creases in the offensive line. CeeDee Lamb's having a monster year, and the Bears defense is allowing 7 yards a play.
And their run defense for the Bears isn't good either.
Clayton Johnson's out, and they're bad on third down. So the Bears don't move the chains. They will not be able to keep the...
Wow, that's bad. Last in points per game, last in yards per play, last in touchdowns, last in passer rating. And they played J.J. McCarthy.
Ball away from Dak, CeeDee Lamb, George...
I know it's only been 2 games, and a lot of that comes from the Lions game.
Pickens. So the Bears have too many 3-and-outs. And that's a recipe for a tired second-half defense, missing their best corner. Cowboys win it 28-27, but I like the over on this game. Bet the Cowboys-Bears over. Weather won't be a problem either.
Lions and Ravens.
Monday Night Football, you know what I say. When Lamar Jackson hosts an NFC team, I don't care what the spread is. It's Ravens -4.5. I'm taking Baltimore.
I agree with this. This is one of my favorite spreads of the week. I love the Ravens this week. Monday Night Football at home. Point to prove against a good team, but I don't think a team that is on the level of the Ravens personally.
Bottom line, once again, number 1 scoring offense in the league. 7-1 over their last 8 home games. 10 of the 13 have come by over a touchdown. And here's what I don't like. The defense for the Lions is allowing a 48% conversion rate on third down. That's
not good.
Near the bottom of the league. And again, the first drive, Caleb Williams moved down the field. I don't like teams that struggle on third down defensively, especially against Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. They have a way of picking up the first downs, dominating the clock, keeping your quarterback and your offense on the sideline. Ravens win 30-23. I'll take them to cover the spread.
I like the matchup for the Ravens. I brought that up in my best bets. I like Lamar's movement skills against that pass rush that struggles to contain quarterbacks over the years who can really move. I don't love the Lions' reliance on man coverage. I think, first of all, their corners are a bit overrated. And I think, secondly, it's difficult to pull off against Lamar consistently. Plus, you have to be able to stop Derrick Henry. It's just a very hard offense to stop, especially at home on primetime when they're fired up. Defensively, I think being at home on primetime gives them some juice. I think that the Ravens are very difficult to move in the run game, which is what the Lions want to be able to do, run the ball to set up play action. I think their corners are going to play well this game. I think a lot of people are putting too much into that Bills loss. Too much of their defensive performance, all that sort of stuff. That was simply Josh Allen going crazy. I don't think this defense is bad. I don't think this defense is going to play that bad for the rest of the season. I think they're too talented to do that. And I think we've seen Jared Goff play the Ravens. He has a 72 passer rating over 3 games against the Ravens. Last time they played, he didn't throw a touchdown 2 years ago. So I like the Ravens. I don't know if they'll crush here, but I think they'll win by 10 points. I think that's a fairly convincing win over a good Detroit team.
Eric Mangini is now joining us. First things first, you see him all the time. J-Mac.
Those are his picks. Rams plus 3.5 at the Eagles. I think that's one of the dicier ones that he picked. I would say that's a follow, but I'm hesitant. I like the Patriots. I agree with him. I would fade his Seahawks minus 7.5. I just think that's too many points for a team with a beat up secondary. Still Seahawks questions. I think the Saints have played well over the last 2 weeks, even though they've lost. The over 50.5, I would say follow that bet, but I'd also say maybe just take the Cowboys. And then the Ravens minus 4.5 is also a good bet. So I really agree strongly with Ravens Patriots, as I've made those 2 of my best bets this week. But if you want to find all of my actual bets that I'm making with my real money, again, guys, I'm talking this through his picks, like the Rams, for example. Maybe I like the Rams on a teaser. Maybe, right? But for me, it's like, what am I actually going to bet with my money? Am I actually willing to bet the Rams in Philly against the champs, a team they couldn't stop Saquon last year? Would I really do that with my real money? So you actually get to see that on Patreon. So click the link in the description, $5 a month for all my bets every week. Also in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. It's Mitch. Let me know your thoughts on Colin's picks. Peace.